imagine giving everything you've got, your time, your effort, your heart, your soul, into giving back to your community, being the hero of your town. You train hard, you work hard, and you're told after it's all done, no, you're a girl. You're not strong enough. You can't perform the tasks and duties that we men do. When I was 30 years old, my hometown burnt down. It was complete devastation. Over 400 homes lost their memories, their dreams. My own home was threatened as well. And I thought, I need to do something. I need to give back. I need to do something meaningful for my community. So guess what I decided? I'm going to be a firefighter. So I waltzed into the local fire station and said, "Hi guys, I'm ready." They looked at me like, "You need to go to school. You need to go to an academy. You need to go through an entire process." I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me? I haven't been to school in over 15 years. But I thought, oh well, I'll dig out my old backpack and do what I need to do. That following Monday morning, I enrolled in the #1 college for fire service, taking a double workload. Believe me, I was well in over my head. But they were the prerequisites to get into the fire academy. That wasn't it. There was the dreaded physical agility test, which tested your strength and endurance. Now, I was confident my experience as being a professional skateboarder, a surfing instructor in Hawaii, a 3-time Hawaii state champion, outrigger paddler, and even a wakeboard, yeah, thanks, even a wakeboard competitor, that I was in great shape and ready to go. So I signed up and committed. Now on test day, I show up powered up and ready to nail this thing. Seeing an ambulance on the location and puke buckets throughout the course should have been my first clue that this might be tougher than I thought. But I'm like, oh, I'm here anyways, onward and upward. I pushed through, I powered up, and I finished the test, but not fast enough. I thought, oh well, I'll sign up for next month's test now that I know what this thing is like. Next month came. I took the test again, a little faster, but I still failed. Now this failing thing was new to me. I'm used to being #1 in everything I do. And believe me, it sucked. For the first time in my life, I felt like a loser, but I was no quitter. I signed up 11 more times. Yes, 11 more times. I ran the course faster each time, but not fast enough. Not fast enough means I failed. Now, most people would have quit after 2 or 3 tries, but not me. I was dedicated. This was my purpose and my passion, and I wasn't going to give up trying. Just the memories of the homes and the lives lost in that huge fire just kept me going. This wasn't about me just showing up and waking up early. It was about a commitment. If I commit to something, I follow through. So I drilled down on my technique, I mastered my mindset, and I pushed and fought for what I wanted. It was test number 14 for me, which was the last qualifying test before the academy was starting. And guess what? I passed. I was now in the 100th Basic Fire Academy, and I was elated. What I learned through this experience was to never give up. This was a true testament that persistence does pay off. So now I'm in the academy. I'm 34 years of age with 18 to 20-year-old men, fighting every day not to get injured and to complete the task and physical and academic tests that were required over this grueling 3.5 months. After working twice as hard to be considered half as good, I even shaved my head like G.I. Jane just to fit in. But I was welcomed, they cheered me on, and I was part of the team. Now I graduate from the fire academy, and I'm hired by my local firefighting town as a reserve firefighter. I was a little aggressive because I was very excited, and I took officer courses, and later became an engineer. I got promoted, which meant I got to drive the big red fire engine. It was a very proud and powerful moment for me. From the local fire department, then graduating, I knew I had to be twice as strong. I propelled, I pulled up my bootstraps and fought on. As I remember, there was two women that wanted to sue the city for gender discrimination. Now, as part of that lawsuit, but before I back up on that, there was so much I put into this. All my time and my effort to be in this and to have this happen was absolutely devastating. Being hired as a firefighter was so important to me. And after all of this happened, we decided we had to sue. It was just devastating. What I remember is that preparing for the oral interview, this was the final piece. I was all in. But what I didn't realize at the time, that there was no way I was getting this job. The firefighter, the engineer, and the captain that sat on my final oral interview had already decided, way before I even came into that room, that I wasn't getting this full-time position, not with this department. They said that they scored me so ridiculously low, and on purpose, so not to get to the chief's hiring list, because he had made it very clear that I was his primary choice. To justify their ridiculous score, they said I was spinning in my chair like an exorcist, with beads of sweat dripping off my nose. Now let's just pause there. I was a pro athlete. I then became a 10-time bodybuilding champion, as you guys heard. I work out hard. I never sweat. I glisten. It wasn't in my DNA. It just wasn't true. It was completely fabricated. And so I was confident that I was a threat, yes, because I was strong, I was assertive, and I was pushing this good old boy club. In fact, in 78 years, they had never hired a minority, let alone a woman. And they certainly weren't going to start with me. Their egos just wouldn't let them. As much as I loved my job, I knew deep down that I didn't want to work with a crew that didn't want to work with me. After listening to 35 depositions, from the city manager to the fire chief, all the way down to the dispatcher, over a year and a half, I was crushed. It was so devastating. One statement that stands out that I'll never forget is that the fire captain said, "A woman doesn't belong in the fire service at her age. She belongs at home, in the bedroom, and in the kitchen." Right? Hearing these words from my coworkers made me really know that it was clear they didn't want to work with another female, not on their crew, ever. So I was literally emotionally drained, and at times physically sick. After all the physical and emotional effort to get hired, I was watching this go up in flames right before my eyes. During the lawsuit, I was warned by some of my allies not to respond to the emergency or 911 calls, as it just wasn't safe. Did they have my back? I don't know. I couldn't rely on my team. Was it worth getting injured or literally risking my life to save another? But here's the deal. I gave up my career and sacrificed everything, as I was blackballed in the fire service. From that, the moral of my story is that through perseverance, the outcome can be so much bigger than I thought. In hindsight, I believe this all happened for a reason. I truly believe that. Everything I've done in my life since then has propelled me to be the strong, impactful influencer that I am today, right? I made change in the fire service across the country. I became a 10-time bodybuilding champion. As you heard, I became Hollywood's go-to girl for major music videos. Lady Gaga, J-Lo, and Justin Bieber, to name just a few. So can you see why I'm so grateful for all of this that happened? Because I believe every obstacle can be an opportunity. It's how I embrace it as such. I can let it take me out, or I decided to use these challenges to help other women, especially women that are partaking in male-dominated arenas. That's right. So my overall lesson is three-step process on how I run multiple businesses and my life. Step one, make a decision. Remember, you are worthy, you are enough. Step two is make a commitment, take a stand. And step three, take action, implement. In my case, I decided I needed a lawsuit. I committed to making moral and major change. And I took action by hiring an attorney and suing the city. Was it scary? Absolutely. Did it require courage? You bet. My life is about making change for other women. This is what I stand for. This is what I believe in. This is me to my core. This is how I define a leader within. But now I identify as the faith and fitness queen. And I can honestly say my life's pretty amazing. So whatever it is out there that's holding you back, always remember that you can make a change, take a stand, and be the leader you were meant to be. Be strong, be fierce, and be you. And give your glory to God. Thank you.